Welcome to Between the Lines, the Five Towns Jewish Times podcast, where newsmakers unpack the stories shaping the Jewish community.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Between the Lines. I'm Larry Gordon, and here with Esther Gordon. And our guest today in the studio live is a neighbor of ours here, where we work in Cedarhurst, New York. So as you can see, we're not in Florida, with where we've been for the last couple of weeks, right? And so we're back here on the homestead. Well, the homestead is really Florida, but we're back here in New York. David Bodenheim is with us, and I was, I don't know, we were at a wedding together, I think, right?
Yes, this week.
And you told me about your adventure that I heard from a lot of people, but I had not met anyone since the war started a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
The new war.
The time that we are broadcasting this or recording this podcast. On the adventures of getting home from Israel. So David, you went to a friend's wedding, as I understand it. You surprised him. You surprised him. You showed up at the wedding, and it was like a day before the war started.
It was on a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, took a flight out of New York Wednesday night. You arrived
Newark
Thursday.
Airport.
That's from Newark.
Yeah.
That's $100 cheaper from Newark.
No, you have to park. You have to deal with all that.
You know, you're not saving any money. It costs you that
it worked
much to
out
get
well
there.
because one of my main concerns was getting back in time for Purim, and I was
Purim.
going to stay
So
for Shabbos.
Purim was the following Monday night.
Matzah Shabbos.
No,
Monday
Motzei
night.
Shabbos. I wanted to leave Motzei Shabbos.
Uh-huh.
So Purim
Right.
was,
Okay,
right.
so
Purim
you
was on Sunday.
Yes.
No, Purim was on Monday night and
Monday
Tuesday.
Oh,
night.
right.
Yeah.
Monday night and Tuesday.
Right.
So,
So
you,
he's
I
gonna
know,
leave.
I know every second of that.
Right.
You know, I was like down to the minute.
You're always going to be able to play that over.
Yeah.
As we tell, we have, as we mentioned when we were talking earlier, we have 3 grandchildren currently, as we record this, trying to find flights home from Israel, where they've spent the year
Booked on a few flights, and each time
in seminary
canceled.
and yeshiva.
And yeshiva.
And they'll get home, but it'll be something that they'll be able to tell their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren about. It'll always be quite an adventure. So it was an adventure for you. So the war started when? Shabbos morning, actually,
Yeah,
right?
well,
Right.
my first, I was thinking of going back already Thursday night. I don't want to take chances.
Right.
Well, I just want to note, last time I was in Israel was October 7th.
Okay.
So
you're not a guy. You're not the kind of guy
I'm
to
a little
travel
PTSD.
with.
So just
I have a
let
little
me know the
PTSD.
next time you're planning on it.
Right, exactly. So
You're not-
if
you're not
anybody
the
wants
best
to know
guy to
next time
travel
to go
with.
to Israel, don't go when
Don't
I'm
go
there.
when-
Call David. Okay.
Yeah. Call
All right.
me
So
and I'll
you wanted to go
face-
home the
I'm
night
there.
of the wedding, Thursday night.
Works in the stock market the same way. But what?
So you stayed for Shabbos.
I stayed. I saw him. I have a brother there, Ramat Beit Shemesh.
okay.
So I
Right.
think, you know what? I'm safe going Motzei Shabbos. That's why I did
Right,
United. It
close
was a good
to
flight.
the airport.
So I figure, so I'm going to go Motzei Shabbos,
Okay.
and I'll be okay. Because I definitely don't want to get stuck there. Like again,
That happened
I was
already.
nervous,
Right.
but he's a really good friend, Avrusa, and I just didn't want to miss the wedding. The phone went off.
Right.
And not a pretty sound. Last time,
That's indication that there's an alert that you have
It's
to
a red
make it.
alert,
10
yeah.
You have to go
minutes,
to a safe room
and then-
or a bomb shelter.
Yeah, and then you have the sirens. When they go off, you have a minute and
Oh,
a
right.
half.
You were in Beit Shemesh.
In Beit Shemesh, you have a minute and a half.
Right.
Last time, once again, it was also Yontif morning, and I think I was in the Orient Hotel when the same thing happened, October
Yeah.
7th.
Wow.
But anyway, so that was, it was also a warning sign that probably I won't be flying out tonight.
Okay. So what was the next step? So Sunday morning arrived and you decided
Sure.
what?
Sunday morning, I decided I really wanted to be back for Purim, as I said earlier.
Right.
And, just it's a tradition always, have my kids. I love spending Purim as well as they love spending with me.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of our favorite days of the year, along with a lot of people. And I have some really good friends. I go for the Suda. I really wanted to be back.
So you had to
Right.
use some
Anything and everything.
some ingenuity to figure
And
out how to
I
get
didn't
out.
want to running to the shelter it's,
Well,
you
you
have to
went
feel.
through it. You know
have
what
to
it was
feel,
like,
You have
right.
to feel for people in Israel who have to deal with this.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully,
we were-
hopefully, now we took care of the problem once and for all.
Hopefully.
But having to deal with that is just, as an American, something that we're used to. Now I'm in Cedarhurst, and you hear the fire alarm. Now you know what PTSD is.
Right.
Right? You hear
Okay,
the fire
so-
alarm, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
There
my
actually is such a
granddaughter was
thing.
just
It's
on the bus
actually-
today,
yeah.
and they heard the sirens,
Sure.
and you have to get off.
Bus stops, you get off.
You have to get off
Yeah.
the bus and find a.
Yeah.
All right. So what'd you do?
shelter.
What'd you do Sunday?
I I worked nonstop between running to the bomb shelter, trying to find. I looked myself online to see. I found flights out of Amman, Jordan, but people told me don't do it yourself. And even the border, closes at a certain time,
Right.
or opens only a certain time. So to make a flight, I don't want to spend the night there. So,
So why would you?
somebody
well,
did some research. Somebody called me, and or a friend of mine said there's a concierge service,
Oh, interesting.
and he's pretty good with this stuff. He helped them the last war.
Okay.
Right.
So
what was
I
it?
called
2 years
them.
ago.
I called
It
him.
was this past June. No?
Was it this? No.
No, when the airports closed.
Was it June? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't remember
It was
anymore.
it was the one time I wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
You
that was
missed it.
that was last June. That
It
was
was one
June
time I wasn't
2025.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We
Surprised.
were supposed to go to Israel, and they
Right.
canceled our flight. That's true.
Right.
So the concierge service gets you
Yeah.
booked
So
somehow.
he ended up, getting back. It was a good few hours, and meanwhile, unfortunately, I was in Ramat Beit Shemesh in the bomb shelter. We heard this huge explosion, which was right nearby, and
Right.
that was when the terrible tragedy.
In
nine
the
people
bomb
Right.
shelter.
Killed
under the
nine,
shul.
nine
Right.
people.
Yeah, that was terrible. And but he told me they found one seat for me out of Egypt, Sharm el Sheikh, into Turkey,
Okay, which
So-
airline?
Turkish Air.
Turkish Air.
Yeah, into
Sharm el
Istanbul.
Sheikh.
Yeah,
Sharm el Sheikh.
From Egypt to Turkey.
To
Right.
Turkey.
right.
Okay,
Which-
and Sharm el Sheikh used to be part of Israel
Oh,
after
was it?
after
Yes,
'67.
Yes. It
Until
was.
the United Nations got involved.
And they
Right.
gave it up.
And it's a long story. Taba,
Right. Yeah,
Taba was a great beach resort in Israel.
Yeah, there's a
And-
song.
and there was
Somebody wrote a song about
Yeah, I think Yoram
Sharm el Sheikh.
Gaon,
Yeah.
I believe.
How's
But
it
believe it or
beautiful?
not, I don't want to digress too much because I want to hear your story. But there's a map with a pencil line where where the border is between Egypt and Israel, and the debate at the UN is the actual line on the map which country is the line part of? And it goes to a commission to study it. And
of
after
course.
a year or two, they decided that
It was Egypt.
the line belongs to Egypt. The
That's what
line
they
and
figured.
inwards, so Taba became Egypt.
It's
and
beautiful
Sharm el Sheikh.
beachfront property.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Israel gives in too easy, but
Yeah, yeah.
they
Imagine-
they want to be the good guys,
Makes beautiful resorts there.
Anyway, so what was your concierge's plan?
So he said, once again, go through there. So he got a Sprinter driver, and he said there'll be 3 other couples, American couples, that are going to be on with you. So in total, including myself, 7 people. He had a Sprinter van, and we're going to drive through the night, leave Yerushalayim at about 11 p.m., and then give about 6-7 hours at the airport, Sharm el Sheikh, and Turkish Air to Turkey, and back to New York.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Argo that Ben Affleck was in.
yeah,
remember?
well, that was they were escaping from Iran.
They were escaping
Yeah.
from Iran.
Yeah,
You
that
know
was.
what? I gotta say, it felt like I had this rental car. What do I do with the rental car? I finally decided just drive it to Yerushalayim. The airport's closed anyway.
So you
Meanwhile, the
drove it-
concierge, I guess he's called concierge for a reason. He
He
actually
takes care of
returned
it.
it. I parked it by his house with a
Wow.
Sprinter left, and he returned it to.
Great
so
number.
tell me about the airport in Sharm el Sheikh.
just the drive there.
How many hours?
Just the drive there was, I gotta say, if you ask me what the scariest part of the trip
Is the
was,
border.
probably just the drive. For me, it was, let's say when I left Ramat Beit Shemesh, I'm driving on 1 or 38
you
first, and
drove.
then I drove my car to Yerushalayim, and then sure enough, my phone went off like with the
Sirens.
Alerts.
with the sirens,
Red
with the
alert,
alerts.
red
And that
alert,
was just
yeah.
after, there's some serious
Yeah.
casualties. So that was, nerve-wracking. So I pull over. It was a busy, I just drove as fast as I could. I figure if I drive, I have 8.5 minutes to drive somewhere. So I kept just driving, and then I reached an underpass at about 8.5 minutes later with, must be 50. It's just watching. You go to an underpass, you see kids crying, parents holding their children, and they're just under there, and
Because that's there are.
and they're all under there, not
waiting
knowing
for
what
the
can
alarm.
happen.
Right.
All right, so you're in the Sprinter
there
on the
was a
way
few-
to.
No,
There
he was in his car going to Schlein.
There was
No,
a
yeah.
fuel truck there, and you have to think about these things, what people go through. And he couldn't get through, and the fuel truck was stuck there.
Yeah.
So
'Cause of the
you don't
underpass.
want, right. So he was ready
wow.
to drive through the cars
Wow.
just to plow through the cars, because when there's 100 people under underpass, you don't want
You don't wanna be the one
you don't
stuck
want an oil
yeah,
truck
with
there.
the fuel truck. He got
Right.
through, nothing with explosion happened somewhere else. Kept driving, dropped my car. Then we had to drive with the Sprinter.
Okay.
So probably also one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the trip was the drive from Yerushalayim to the Taba border.
I can
Okay.
imagine.
Well, especially I had, an Israeli, driver, very skilled and everything, but he was going like 100 miles an hour through the
Yeah.
Dead Sea area,
Wow.
winding roads. I don't know,
Right.
100 miles. I was driving fast,
You were with
eating
the couple?
garanim.
You were at the couples
Yeah, 3
then?
couples, eating garanim.
garanim.
Like, the machine gun style garanim, and they was reaching into bags, for more of them, and the van's going.
Yeah.
I said,
Oh gosh.
are you okay?
Slow down a little bit.
And
Your,
the-
are your
right,
eyes
like-
open?
Yeah, and this is a Dead Sea, pitch black, those winding roads and cliffs.
Right.
But we
Wow.
got there.
So what's it like? Can an Israeli driver, when an Israeli
Israeli
can
driver.
he cross the border from
No,
Israel
no,
into Egypt,
no,
where you got to
no.
change cars?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
is that coordinated by your concierge?
Yeah, he actually had a van waiting for us.
An Egyptian driver.
An Egyptian driver,
Wow.
and I say Egyptian. He was full garb. Everybody
what,
was
what
there.
What did it cost you to go get to the border from Yerushalayim? Would you say for
First,
the
you have to
Israeli
pay the
guy?
Israeli driver.
Yeah.
Then you have to.
Well, here, first of all, going through the border, I think I got through there pretty easily because, what the real cost, or you just tip. It's called tip.
Well.
So I
that's
tipped
interesting.
well, whoever
Okay.
had to,
Okay.
Right.
with the Egyptians,
Uh huh.
and
And then
it
there's
was
the cost.
seamless.
Right.
There were a few people, I would say the people in the van with me, also a couple of them looked, maybe one was wearing a hat, had a beard, he was wearing a yarmulke.
So they kind
and
of
I was
look
wearing
more
like
Haredi, yeah.
I was looking for the least
your
Jewish
baseball
looking
hat.
cap. Not even
Yeah.
typical. Even before
least-
I was
least
thinking that.
conspicuous.
Like a bright blue one, not your
Yeah.
typical. And they were okay with me, but the other guys, they took their passports away literally for an hour. They confiscated. They say their forfeit. They made something up. And literally, there was a few other
So
border.
you really have to go to these countries with
Right.
American dollars.
Right.
There's
When I-
no Zelle payment there.
No. When I was there, the border was relatively empty because
Uh-huh.
most people didn't leave yet. That's what I was thinking. I
Right.
need to get
Yeah.
out
Right,
right away.
right.
Okay.
So the border was empty. They kind of could do what they wanted to do. They could do what they wanted. So, it was a little, I would say, unnerving having to be there when they can do everything. Now I believe the embassy's involved and everything
Right.
else.
Wow.
But it was at their own will,
Mm-hmm.
their own whim. They called somebody in the office, whatever they wanted to do. But
Wow.
I, thank God, didn't have really
You don't have that
many
problem.
issues.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
you got to cross the border.
It took 2 hours
It took 2 hours to
Wow.
just
cross.
to go through the border. Yeah, have to
Wow.
go through Israel side, then the
Okay,
Egyptian
now
side.
you're with the
2
Egyptian
hours.
driver, and how far is
Egyptian
the trip to the airport?
It's about 3.5 hours.
3 more hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
It was. It
These are
was.
big. These are big countries.
Till I got home from when I left, my show got home was probably about 38 hours. 38 hours.
So you're in Egypt now on your way to the
We're
Sharm
driving.
Sheikh airport,
Yep.
and the Turkish plane is there.
Well, we got
now who's on that
same-
plane?
Same thing in Turkey, by the way. They want tips. When
Yeah, I
you get
understand.
there.
We'll get to
Every
Turkey in a
border,
second.
You tip.
Not
Let's-
Turkey. I'm sorry, Sharm el Sheikh.
Sharm el
to get
Sheikh.
in.
Sharm el Sheikh. So Taba is one place where you have to
Taba
hand
is-
out
right.
gratuities.
Yeah,
And then
it came
Sharm.
to the airport. So before you have some guys coming, and
To
they say
inspect
quick
things.
check. So it was like Disneyland, like fast pass,
There's
whatever
no
it's called.
there's no VIP
Yeah, there is.
service?
I gave him, he
Well,
bargained him down.
these guys are making $5 a week.
You
They're waiting
know
for.
what? He did
they're
very
waiting.
well.
They're
They're
waiting for you.
bargaining.
He did very well.
They're waiting
I actually
for you.
I
gave
mean, you're lucky you have
I
dollars
gave him-
on you.
Yeah. I gave it to him, and he got us through. He got us past. There was a long line. Whatever. I felt
It's
bad,
like
but I
VIP.
guess yeah. So he got us straight through, and then he
Wow.
wanted money for the other people, X-ray. I said,
Yeah.
I already gave you enough. Then let
Right.
me have that back. And they said, no, okay, we're good.
Oh,
So we put all our luggage through, and once again, we got through. But in Egypt, once again, they,
At the airport.
at the airport, you have to be careful. You have to be nice to everybody. You have to smile. You have to say thank you, please.
So tell me about the people that travel, it wasn't the heart of the
It was-
action yet.
no, there was
like
like-
it is now. So it's
there
you,
weren't that
it's
many
these three couples and you.
Right. Who, by the way, sometimes you see signs from Hashem, everything will be okay. As soon as I got on the Sprinter, I was there for that surprise wedding. Those three couples were at the same wedding. From the Chassan
Wow.
side, I was there for the Kala.
Wow.
So those three couples, I said,
That's
they were
amazing.
there from the same wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So I think everything will be
who was on this plane? What type of plane did they fly from Sharm el Sheikh to Istanbul?
This was
small plane.
No, this was Turkish Air. Turkish
like
Air happens to be a
787 jetliner.
I was just happy to be on it. And,
Yeah.
Kosher
I
food?
was,
Kosher food?
believe it or not, there was no food on that leg. But you know what? This concierge was good because we had kosher food back from.
Go
and you know what?
away.
And the food, I gotta say, is sorry
from,
Allah, but I think it's better than all.
From Istanbul to Newark.
From Istanbul to Newark.
We had kosher food
Yeah,
on there.
and it was pretty good. Yeah,
So
It's amazing.
yeah,
So was the plane full?
yeah. The planes were all full.
And
Very
there was
Thank
Egyptians.
you.
Although no, actually, I had a seat next to me on the
Really?
leg from.
Many people had
from Turkey.
reservations from Turkey to go into.
But not so many people. Because basically, I would have to
midnight.
say
It was
I was
midnight.
probably the first one out because of the snowstorm. I left
Oh, I
right
forgot
after,
about
and then
that
I was
part,
the first
right.
one out. There was nobody flying really or doing this. Not
Mm-hmm.
many. Maybe a couple of handfuls of
So,
people doing this. Then this was
so
really
how
Yeah,
long is
now
it-
it's
so
a
how long is
norm.
the,
Now
yeah.
it's a norm.
How long is the flight from Cairo to from Sharm el Sheikh to Istanbul?
it was a few hours. I'm
4
thinking.
hours?
Yeah,
3,
something
4
like that.
hours?
3, 4 hours.
And then from Istanbul, you were in the airport for
Istanbul,
how long?
we were in the airport. You have to, but luckily our luggage went straight through. We didn't have
Oh,
to deal
okay.
with that. That was very important because you don't have to go through customs, everything
Right.
else. Because once again, Turkey is not necessarily our friend right now. So
All right. So how did
Yeah.
you feel that? In what way?
just look at the people there. Look the way, not
way
at
they look
me,
at
because
you.
I was maybe they weren't sure what to
Right.
make of me,
You're
but I was
a-
watching
you're a
them
part.
look at some of the other people who were there.
Yeah.
And you should see the way they look at him with venom and
Yeah.
hatred.
Really?
And I mean, I don't mean to judge, but
Right.
that's the way it was.
Wow.
And happens to be
How did how did they feel? Did you have a chance to speak to
Threatened.
your?
yeah. All of a sudden, there's a whole exodus. There was a whole exodus.
So how did you spoke to some people you were traveling with? That you were at the
and
wedding?
they were all. Everybody was nervous, and
They were-
I saw they were pretty hard on the women too. They wanted to take off like one lady, even in Turkey, like her shaitel, her hat, everything else, because I don't know they're hiding. They're always very vigilant with that, and
To make sure,
I
but
see.
if
They
somebody's
were-
there with the
especially-
burqa,
yeah.
they're not taking that off. Or jihad, they don't take that off.
You want to start another war, a different war?
I'm not. But one thing I gotta say, they did have separate women, men. In other words, when it comes to searching, it comes to
Oh, so a woman
Oh, the
searched for
women,
search
women
women?
was searching
Yeah.
the women.
men.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You hear
That's how it
stories.
is.
I'm not sure what happened at the border
Right.
in
Yeah.
Taba or these places.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially before that was like,
Yeah.
that was like Hefker, as it was just.
It's true.
Listen, first of all, this war, so to speak, Trump doesn't call it a war. Iran calls it a war.
It's a conflict.
He calls it an excursion.
Oh, an excursion.
And no one was anticipating this. Maybe
Right.
Israel and the United States were anticipating it, but certainly the people that work at the airport
Right.
in Tabo or the airport in Istanbul weren't expecting it. For them, it's like a boom. It's like
Right.
a payday. All of a sudden arrives out of nowhere.
Yeah.
'Cause these guys are working for $4, $5, $6 a week.
Right.
That's probably the average salary in a place like Egypt. All of a
Right.
sudden, they have guys peeling off hundreds.
Right,
So they're
right,
making a half a year's income.
That's what I gave him. But I feel bad for that Egyptian guy who's going to open a kosher restaurant like the Egypt airport over there, thinking that this,
Oh, you think so?
it's
You
a
think
great
that- you
business,
think-
and then all of a sudden the war's going to be over.
You're right.
There must
So-
have been a falafel stand in the
You know,
airport.
I wish there would. It was actually a fast day. It was Tanis Esther.
Oh, it's
actually.
Tanis
Right,
Esther.
yeah, that's when you were
Okay.
Tanis
traveling.
Esther.
So you finally got on the plane.
I got on a plane.
flying to Istanbul. You were in
Yeah.
Istanbul, flying to Newark.
Oh, that was a great feeling. Just Istanbul
so-
Airport, I didn't put on tefillin, that day. There was no real good opportunity. And they say, like, don't go, tefillin in Turkey, they'll take it away.
Well,
but I actually found, not that I'm like, I don't need to be a big tzaddik or anything, but I found a good spot, like a corner.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know
put
what?
your
That was
tefillin
probably
on.
one of the most meaningful
You
times I
weren't-
ever put on tefillin
Right.
in my life.
So you weren't looking for 9 other people for so you could say kedusha.
But it
baruch Hu.
wasn't.
Minion.
Was it
yeah.
in Cyprus or in Turkey where those kids, they were being harassed?
I
It was
think
on that
I
air
think it
train.
was,
I would
I'm not
imagine.
sure where it was.
But you know what? I don't think I want to flaunt and put anybody's face and ask
No,
for trouble.
I don't think it
Yeah.
should be done.
Yeah.
You're in their country.
Yeah, and not only
you
that,
know,
we
and
know how they feel, and
Yet they could throw the
I-
rug wherever they want.
I wasn't
Right?
going to daven right in. I found a little corner in a spot. It's a pretty busy
Right.
airport, but I found this corner, a spot, and I put them on, and thank God, everything.
And to us, the world is JFK or LaGuardia,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
or Miami or Fort Lauderdale
Right.
or Palm Beach or Ben Gurion, and you
Sure.
have a whole world is on the move out there in
Right.
Istanbul and in Cairo and in Sharm el Sheikh. There's
Yeah.
8 billion people in the world. They got to be going somewhere.
Well, I'm sure you saw the video in Istanbul with the I think it was a day after I was there when
With-
they were screaming,
Yes,
in
yes,
Arabic.
yes,
That was actually
yes.
on the shuttle.
Pre-Palestine, it was
leaving-
on that shuttle.
On that shuttle.
That was
And then-
that air
and-
train
and,
I was
in the
talking
terminal
about.
as well. I recognized
Yes,
everything.
yes.
You know what? It's unnerving, especially in an airport.
You know
in a
what? And
public
you can't
place.
stick up for yourself, and you
Right.
have to stand there and take the abuse.
Right.
But then again, it happened in California yesterday,
Right.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Guys speaking Hebrew and got
Right.
attacked.
Beat them up. They
But
beat
the
them up.
Beat 'em
police,
up.
at least here, the police come, and we have the police. Over there, you don't know whose side the police is on. They'll blame it on you.
Right.
Yeah, the police will be on the side
Right.
of.
It's all corrupt.
So
the whole
I would
place
say
is
you have
corrupt.
to just try to, no pun intended, fly under the radar, and be as polite as you could. Just
I
be
got you.
polite
I got
and
you.
be
So,
nice.
so
And
your-
have
how
money.
how
Yeah.
was your flight?
No, you
so
have
how was
to
your
have
flight
money.
from Istanbul
The
to
flight
Newark?
was actually kosher food was really good.
Really?
Yeah, had 2 meals. It's really good. They were
Did
nice.
the flight attendant ask you if you were the gentleman who gets the kosher meal?
Well, I did switch seats because it was a couple with a baby. So
Yeah.
actually, they asked if they could sit, and they gave me, I took a different seat, so
Right.
my kosher meal didn't match my seat. But she was very nice, and she found me another one. So
Really?
she went. I got to say,
up until rather the last couple of years, Turkish Airlines was very popular
Yeah.
for Jewish travelers.
And then there was a bombing in the airport.
on their
if you
way
remember.
to
Right.
I
Israel
think
and back.
they do take pride in their airline. So
Yeah.
So
They used to have a beautiful airport. I know that.
they
I don't
still
know what
do.
it's like now.
Nothing. No. Still
I mean, Trump's
beautiful.
President Trump says he likes President Erdogan. Erdogan just happens to
doesn't
hate the
like-
Jews,
right, he doesn't like
but,
us much.
That's his problem, I guess.
Right.
So it's Tinus Esther, and your next big objective is to make it to the Megillah on the Monday night.
Sure.
They're not reading the Megillah on Turkish Airlines.
No.
Actually, there was some people actually like
You
debating,
could
but
have Zoomed.
there weren't that many religious or Jewish people on my flight, believe it or not, into Newark. There were some, but not a lot.
Oh,
It wasn't like-
the ones you were traveling with, 6
They were
people.
there.
Yeah.
Were there others?
There were some others. Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
Same way. They
Same way?
had the
Different
same idea.
concierge.
The person,
Oh,
the
they weren't
concierge
on-
did a few
Runs.
bands. He did a few bands.
runs.
We're all basically from the same person because he was like, he started. He was the initiator. He was the
Talk about
the
a good living
trailblazer.
then.
He was a trailblazer with this.
All right, so now you want to get back. You want to get to the Megillah.
Yeah, that
here
was
in
my
Cedarhurst.
concern.
So,
And then-
what time did you land? You're
and
landing
then-
in Newark.
Once again, that also it was a sign from Hashem, sign
So
from God.
what time did you land?
Because I landed about 9:25, but I guess with the whole government shutdown, TSA. and Global Passport is not
The
operating.
kiosk wasn't working?
No, none of that was operating.
Oh, then you have thousands
so
of people
the
on that
line
line.
took much longer until you get your
Unbelievable.
luggage. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
it's like 11. I don't know, it was like 11:30, and Chaim V'Shalom in Cedars I saw it advertised, and I had a friend check.
the nonstop
up till
minyan.
1 a.m.
No.
Megillah
Stop
reading,
me.
yeah.
That was the last Megillah reading.
Yeah,
1 a.m.
That's unbelievable.
So that was my goal. But my
Wow.
car, believe it or not, was in Newark because I left
You
from
left
United,
from-
and it just was a chance. I didn't ask for a flight to Newark. I
Mm-hmm.
was taking anything, but my flight went into Newark.
All right,
you-
that worked well,
So that was
but-
your next adventure,
But,
Chaim B'Shalom.
No, my car was parked off out of side of the in a hotel where they offer a shuttle to your, park there, shuttle to the terminal. 5-8 minute ride from the parking to the. So, I figure it's already like 11:30, 11:15. Newark.
And it could take over an hour.
No, and then the
easy.
shuttle. I said, you know what? I shouldn't take the shuttle till you wait.
You
it's
left your
hard
car there?
as a Jewish guy. We want the shuttle. It doesn't cost anything.
Right.
So, but I said, you know what? I'm going to take an Uber anyway. That's my.
You took an
I'm gonna
Uber
take
home or to the car?
To the car.
Oh,
So I said I'm
okay.
going to take. I'm not that selfless.
Okay.
So I said I'm going to take the Uber, and then the Uber said 15 minutes, and that was too long. So there was a yellow cab, and I asked him
Yeah.
just to take outside the airport was like $54. Literally a 8-minute ride.
Everybody's having a field day.
Yeah.
It's a payday for everybody.
Yeah, they didn't even know where I'm coming, but it was $54.
Wow.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to take one, take one for the team, and
Yeah.
I'm going to do
So
it.
you got your
McGill's
car.
McGilla.
You got your car. And you
Even
made
as it
the-
is, I'm looking at my Waze, like I have like a 20-minute window. If
Wow.
so
Going straight there.
yeah, so I took the yellow cab, paid the money, and I get to the hotel, and it was where they park. I was 2 days overdue. I prepaid. I was 2 days overdue at
right.
$27 a day. So let's do the math. It was I owed them
$54 again.
Right.
Wow.
So that was a magic number.
Love it.
Right.
So I got to the airport, and I'm in line. It was my turn. There was a nice Muslim woman.
Is that 4 times high?
3 times.
Three
3
times.
times
Look
high,
at that.
I mean.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all signs from
Yeah.
Hashem.
3 times high.
So
Wow.
I'm in line. It's my turn. A very nice Muslim woman, with the full garb. She said, "How can I?" said, "I'm, sorry, whatever. I'm late 2 days. I owe you money. I owe you for 2 days."
Right.
She says, "Don't worry about it." She says, "Don't worry about it." I said, "You sure? I don't want you."
Yeah.
And then somebody was working there.
Right.
Some other woman is looking at her like going like this, like,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Right.
I said, I don't want you to get in trouble. You're a nice woman.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to pay. So a bit of a rush. I'm very happy to pay. Absolutely, I don't want to take your money. Just go. You're good.
So you made it to
And
Cedarhurst.
and the cost of the taxi was like $55.
Right.
Another sign. I
Wow.
went ahead.
God's talking to the Jewish
Yeah.
people through you.
Yeah. We started the trip. I think Hashem was talking to me, and then after
right,
and
Baruch
everything,
Hashem.
and I just wish everybody would have, and
What time did you walk
Yes,
into
this
the
is
shul
the
here
time.
in Cedarhurst?
I walked into shul at about 12:45.
And
Just
there
in
was,
time. There was still
Wow.
something going on, and had a
Was there
beautiful lady
was
once
there
again.
a lot of people at the Megillah at 1 a.m.?
No, it was the first time I ever made brachas. You make the brachas, somebody makes it.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
the one who made the brachas and closed it with the brachas.
Yeah.
Because I was basically, there was 2 women actually who were there, and myself.
Wow.
And possibly another guy. I'm not sure if he
So
was.
you don't
or
need,
he
you
heard
don't need,
already.
you don't need a minion to hear the Megillah?
No.
Uh-huh. So
And-
there's
Well,
3
people
guys
come
there.
to the houses and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you don't
So
need
3
a minion.
guys, 2
there
guys, 2 women.
there was a Marav meeting. I still caught before Megillah.
Before
At
Megillah.
11, because he was still going for the last
Right.
one. So I did have a minion for Marav, but it was
Wow.
once again it was the most meaningful Megillah I ever heard. Also,
All right. So listen,
Just
that
after
is
this
the
whole-
now. I always tell my guests on these podcasts go up online and they stay there forever. You can't get rid of them no matter how hard you try. So once this
But
goes
did
up,
okay.
either later today or tomorrow, when whenever the editor has an opportunity to
Right.
review it, the David Bodenheim story of
It'll be
trip to
passed
Israel.
down to
Anyway.
generations.
We'll be there. We'll be there for you to review and to share.
Listen, I just wish
And,
everybody leaving now had.
So do I.
Hopefully things get better and this becomes old news very, very quickly.
I don't want them
Amen.
to leave. I just want them to
Amen.
come home.
Yeah.
All right, so David, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for hosting
This
me.
has been Between the Lines, the electronic version of the 5 Towns Jewish Times. I'm Larry Gordon with Esta Gordon. Thanks for joining us.